and bright spring morning. We appreciate all of you for attending, and I want to introduce myself. My name is Dye-Hixenbaugh. I am one of the interim associate directors in the sponsor programs office. I'm here with my colleague, Alyssa Bunn, who is my counterpart as well, and we are here to represent what's going on with sponsor programs. One quick thing, we have no presentation today, so you just get us, so hopefully that'll be sufficient. But a couple of things that we just wanted to give you some brief updates. All of you have probably heard or received a termination notification based on the executive orders that have been released recently with some of the new administration changes that are going on in the White House these days. So just another friendly reminder for those of you who have not attended one of the Office of Research office hours that our Vice Chancellor Simon Atkinson has been representing on campus the last month or so. So just a reminder that if you do receive any termination notifications related specifically to those executive orders, please send those email notifications directly to Denise Elin as the Executive Associate Vice Chancellor for Research. I'm going to put her information in the chat so that you have it at your fingertips and you can utilize it when your department receives one, if they receive one. Hopefully they don't, but if they do, you know where to go to. If you have any questions, again, contact Denise and she'll get back to you as soon as she possibly can. In addition, for any questions related to requests on award actions that are not currently assigned, such as maybe you have a progress report question, or maybe what is the process to do a revised budget, or maybe you're looking to do a no-cost extension and you're not quite sure what that process is. We want to remind everyone to please send all of your request notifications, again, to action items that are not currently open and assigned to an analyst, to the awards team at the awards inbox, which is now also released in the chat, just as a reminder, so that we can best serve you and have your action assigned to someone who can help you. If you have any questions also related to proposals, same thing. Please feel free to contact the proposals inbox at proposals@ucdavis.edu, which I will also add to the chat. Again, we want to just make sure that these boxes are managed daily, and we want to make sure that they are utilized so that we can best serve you and the campus needs. So if you don't have any questions regarding that information, please allow me to introduce Alyssa to talk about a couple other updates with our campus and what's going on with research.
Sure. So in our efforts to get your awards processed as soon as possible, one of the things we want to do is ensure that you have enough information to proactively help faculty members complete their COI requirements. So I'm putting a website in the chat right now so that you has a lot of good information about which COIs are due, like Form 800, Form 700U, the PHS COI, when they're required, and so that as soon as you receive your, award assignment notice, you can work with your PI on those. Having those COIs, completed in time for award is really helpful, so that by the time your analyst is, finalizing that to send to CGA, all of those are in place. So really good website. The help desk is on there. You can ask them questions. There's good details. So I encourage you to take advantage of that. The second thing we wanted to point out was NIH recently issued some updates to the Form I guidance. I'm putting that in the chat as well. So this is a really good guide in general for the overarching NIH guidelines, but they're adding changes periodically and not announcing them. So really good to take when you're working on your NIH to go ahead and take a look at that and see what changes that they've added for your different types of instructions. So I just wanted to point that out so that you have it available and you can check it. If that's it. Thank you.
All right. Do we want to turn it over to Brooke now for
Yes, please.
some awards presentation?
We included proposals and
Yeah.
awards, I think.
Yeah, so we're good. You can turn it over to accounting.
Okay. Thanks. So
right.
we are now going to turn it over to Nicole Tardiff over at Contracts and Grants Accounting.
Good morning, everybody. I know I've had the pleasure of working with a few of you so far, but I am new here. So if you haven't seen me, here's my face. I know we have started sending out emails, or I should say I sent emails out in January regarding our migration invoicing cleanup. We are nearing the end of that cleanup process. I think Mario said we have 19 left as of this morning, so we should be done with those today or tomorrow. So this is a very exciting moment for us. So anybody who has not received a follow-up email that says your award has been cleaned up, you will receive that from me as soon as it is done. We've been working with Denise on the terminations that have gone out, with a focus really on drawdowns because we're having some difficulty with the federal drawdowns. Specifically, PMS now is requiring justifications for every single project that we do drawdowns on. So that also has increased our administrative burden basically to recoup our money. Other than that, that is kind of where we're at, just dealing with these terminations.
Does anybody have any questions for Nicole and for Contracts and Grants Accounting? Nicole, there's a question in the chat. Effort of the default is certainly a result of the conversion. What's our timeline to resolve default effort?
I'm not sure I understand what you're asking.
Hi, Nicole. It's Angie Robles. I'm new to Davis, but I just found $1 million sitting on the default for my team. And I'm trying to get those resolved as quickly as possible, but I'm curious as to whether or not there's we have to have it done by June, we have to have it done this month. If there's any sense of what the sense of urgency is. My biggest concern is that we're going to run out of grant money, so I have no place to transfer those expenses, but I'm just concerned about when I have to transfer them by.
So I guess I'm not aware of what the default is. So I know Mario's on here, so I will let Mario speak to that.
Angela, are you talking about money in a DKO?
I guess, so sorry, I'm still new here, so I'm learning the vocabulary, but I'm talking about effort that's sitting on the activity codes 990000 and 990001, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Marion, she's talking about a suspense account.
Okay.
He's talking
Okay.
about the UC path default error codes. So,
No,
Angela, the answer is 120 days if it's a federal award.
Yeah.
So I
that's
just
correct.
found effort that's been sitting, effort from January of 2024. And so I guess I just need to do it as soon as possible.
So we have Deborah on the line, who's our resident effort expert. She's got her hand up also. Deborah, why don't you unmute yourself? If you're talking, you're muted, Deborah.
Sorry, my clicking
That's
buttons all over the place here. It's 120 days from the date of the original posting. So if it went to the default account, as soon as you find it, you need to move it.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Thank you.
Sure.
Deborah, I have a question for you about cost share projects that are created on as part of federal fund. For federal funds. So whenever we do a UC Path transaction, because it takes time to set up the cost share project, it's requiring a high risk justification for those, but those are the cost share portion is being funded from our department fund source. Is that, do we need to submit a ticket for that to your department for approval before we process those?
If you need an approval to get through the high risk, if it comes through as a high risk, then yeah, you need an approval. It should be a no-brainer because you're putting it into your department account, but the cost share account is associated with the award now.
Right.
Right, but it's still got a fund source that's a department fund source. It's
Right.
going to go in on, so if you're not able to get it through without a high risk approval routing on it, then, you know, we should just push those through.
Okay, do you want me to just leave a comment like
There is another step on those. If you move it from, if you're posting directly to the cost share account from UC Path or from in the original transaction, then there shouldn't be a problem. But if you're transferring from the sponsored project to the cost share project on the same award, we have to turn off the billable flag. Because if you charge it to the sponsored project, we have to bill it. And once it's been billed, then we have to go back and unbill it and take that billing flag off.
This is going to come from the department funds directly to the cost share project. But the
then there
UC
shouldn't
Path
be a
is
reason to risk it, to put it to high risk unless it's over 120 days.
okay. Because I have a transaction in particular where I submitted it, but UC Path, Central UC Path denied it, stating that there were issues with work study, but this was for a faculty who there were no work studies involved. And so then I sent them an email and they never responded. So I'm just going to proceed with redoing the SCT.
Okay, if you have any problems, get the ticket forwarded over to my group. Heather Garcia does all the transfers right now while we're kind of shorthanded. So get it over to her or to me and we'll route it to the right person.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Could I piggyback on that on another cost share question?
Sure.
So I was wondering if I have a cost share project that has a lot of match funds from various like dean's offices, do I have them submit the revenue transfer directly to the cost share project or to that other project that's like the GL, background project that it's linked to?
Can they just charge directly to the cost share project at the beginning?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, have them do that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And the revenue, the funds also go directly to the cost share project, right?
The funds?
Yes.
Yeah.
You need to submit a ticket to accounting and financial reporting. They do that journal to move the funds from your department project or GL to the cost share project.
Okay, perfect. So I can have like the dean's offices send their match commitment to my department project, and then I'll send the ticket and y'all will move it from there to the cost share project.
Yeah, there's a KVA. I can put it in because I have a template. And make sure if the funding source is different, if there's multiple funding source on cost share, you need to submit a request because for each funding source, there needs to be a separate project.
Got it. Okay. I'll beg everyone to make it 13U. So thanks.
So CGA, there's some questions in the chat and also Farm, you have your hand up.
Oh, my question is, it relates to what Allison has in the chat. So I've noticed a lot of duplicate transactions, particularly for payroll, that is posting to our DKO account, and it's coming from the pay period September and October. And I recall talking to Faith Lee last week, and she mentioned that there were some transactions that were stuck in Aggie Enterprise that they pushed through after March fiscal month closed out, and I was wondering if that was related. I was going to submit a ticket, but since I have you guys on the line, I might as well ask.
Yeah, Farm, please submit a ticket on that. CGA is not,
Yeah, we don't deal with UC Path so much except for transfers.
Okay.
I mean, we approve the high risk transfers, but other than that, we're sort of hands off on UC Path.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Is there a known issue though regarding UCPath and having payroll come in late?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, because I have an account that I basically had closed out. It wasn't shut down because of chasing my tail to close it out, but then found that on 3/18, it put the account in about 15,000 in OD.
Yeah, if you're seeing these items, open a ticket to escalate it so it goes to the right channels of escalation. It would be going through to make sure that there's not a systemic issue causing UCPath transactions to duplicate. It has happened in the last year, so they need to pinpoint kind of the root cause.
Yeah, the ticket was submitted, and
Okay.
I backtracked and tried to find transactions and stuff that had happened, but there were no transfers made. So it just seems kind of like an anomaly or something. I don't know.
If your ticket's been out there for a while, you can send it to me and I can help facilitate the escalation.
I just discovered it early this week, so
Okay.
yeah, because again, it happened on 3/18, so it was just last week. Thank you.
To Jenna's, your question on the backup. So we do have a report we're being told it should be ready next month. Fingers crossed. It does address some of the feedback we've been getting from sponsors that don't like the formatting of our backup, specifically on the project costs. The 339 report stays the same. That's still the payroll ledger report to submit. But I think question has been the way the project cost is displayed. It just looks like an Excel spreadsheet to some sponsors. So they're pushing back on that. So we have developed a report that does more of the formatting. It pulls in it formats and subtotals the data so that it looks more like a 2 report for those who remember DS2s not long ago. So we look hopefully to get that rolled out next month.
Thank you.
Pam, the email you have or the question you have about invoicing on a regular basis, we're working hard. Part of our cleanup was to try to get all of our invoicing kind of in a better spot. We do recognize that there are some awards that still, because of manual invoicing or whatever reason, that could be delayed. So if you have a specific issue, you can reach out to me, or you can open a ticket but if you have a ticket out there you're still waiting on, you can let me know.
Okay, can I just send you a list of the awards?
Sure.
Okay, great, thanks.
Can I request though that people, if you have a ticket, update the ticket to communicate with us? I get a lot of people who email me on the side and say, add information that needs to be in the ticket so that everything's kept together.
So there's a comment in the chat. I'm not sure if it's a question and needs to be addressed. Allison wrote, I've submitted a ticket, but it's showing up once on 339 and twice in costs.
I'm looking for it. What is showing up? A transaction is showing up twice on the
Allison, can you clarify what you wrote?
Allison C.
I read that as the costs are duplicating in PPM, or showing once on the 339 Cognos report.
Looks like Allison may have left the chat, left the meeting.
I don't know how to answer that. That would be a technical issue. I think we'd have to.
So it looks like the other questions in the chat are being addressed. Anyone else have any other questions for contracts and grants accounting? This is your forum, so it's your opportunity to ask questions while you've got the experts right here.
Third-party cost share is going to be a kind of off the books thing, as far as I know. We're not going to have any transactions to move, so they'll report the amount, send us a letter or something to back up their contribution.
Hi,
answer your question,
Deborah.
Maria?
Thank you. So when they they invoice the sponsor, does CGA put that party cost share in their reporting to the sponsor?
Yeah. If you
Okay.
forward us the documentation that shows that they cost shared something, then we'll add it to the invoice or the financial report.
Okay, but we don't have to worry about at the department level to move it anywhere. I mean, we don't need to put it anywhere.
No, because there's no financial transaction to us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so same thing as the effort reporting for those that third party cost share for sub
Not sure what
awards.
you mean by the same thing for effort reporting.
I think that's what my understanding was. This one project in particular is the third party. It's a sub for an award that we received. So we issued some money to UCLA. And
Okay, so the UCLA folks are not our employees, so we don't do effort reporting for them.
okay. So but they've been sending us the invoices for their cost share, and our CGA team's going. I know that.
Sorry, Maria, you cut out. Our CGA team's going to
They notify the sponsor that cost share has been
yes.
recorded. Okay.
Yes. If there's an invoice or something to back it up, then they would add it to the report.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Maria. Any more questions for contracts and grants accounting? Assuming that's it, I'm going to jump to my agenda item, which is just sharing some upcoming training opportunities offered by the Sponsor Programs Office. So in the chat, I'm putting our next training, which is going to be on April 10th, and that is on using the OR budget templates. This is a popular class, so we are offering it several times a year, and it helps you become more comfortable and confident using the very helpful tool developed by Alyssa in our office, the OR budget template. So the link I put in the chat is to our upcoming training opportunities webpage. So you just scroll down to the UC Learning Center instructor-led trainings section, and then you can register there. The reason I didn't put the registration link directly is because it's so dang long, the UC Learning Center, it would fill up the chat. It would probably say too much info. It would crash everything. So that webpage is a good resource. You can also find all of our e-courses listed there, as well as our unlocked e-courses, which don't give you course credit, but you can jump to any slides that interest you, so you can get that content if you have any questions. As always, you can reach out to me if you have any questions about any of our trainings. And I also want to just make a plug now for the research administrators of the future. So year one has completed. And if you know someone at UC Davis who may be interested in transitioning into a research administrator role, at some point in the next month, you're going to be seeing the announcement for year two of the Research Administrators of the Future program, training program. And this is intended to cultivate a diverse pool of highly talented and motivated staff interested in pursuing research administration positions on campus. And Sebastian just added in the chat that he hired one and she started 2 days ago. So far, so good. So good. And yeah, we have department administrators from different units serving as trainers. So they're sharing their direct experience as research administrators, and it's a very rewarding training opportunity for folks. So that's all I have, unless anyone has any questions. Rolando put some NIH updates in the chat. Any other questions for SPO or CGA or any research administration items?
I have a question.
Yes.
This may have been covered at a RAS that, maybe I wasn't able to attend, but there is a step in the Cayuse IPF that's been added. It's the data protection level. And could you guys talk a little bit about that? And obviously we need to be checking with the PIs, I guess, but it's a new requirement in the IPF, and I just would like to know more about it.
Hey, Alyssa, this is something that IET has added to the IPF. So I'm going to put in the chat that IET classification guide, but they would be the best source of information. I'm going to
Alyssa, I have the info. I can drop it in the chat.
okay, you have it in the chat, Perry?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
I see it. Okay. Thanks.
yes, those are all really good resources.
Okay, in response to an audit. So this is going to be a permanent feature probably going forward. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's related to an audit for IET. So, and Denise is adding a very helpful tip that we're going to be inviting representatives from Cisco to come and talk about this page in the near future. And she's adding some other really helpful information too about they're holding a monthly classification data seminar. So you can reach out to join that.
But so I'm assuming though that we're not supposed to be making the call about what the data protection level should be, at least ideally. The PI, this is something we need to have the PI determine. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question, Alyssa. Any other questions? We're all here.
Hi, this is Janine. I have a question for CGA. What's the timeline or frequency of budget updates on clinical trial payments? When do we expect the next round of updates?
Hi, this is Stephanie from CGA. We will be getting those out within the next week or two. We're waiting for the end of the month of March. Typically, these will be done monthly, but this last month, our priority was our cleanup project, our migration. So we did not get those done. We will be getting them done within the first week of April is our plan.
Great. Thank you, Stephanie.
This is Pam. I have 2 more requests. We have about 3 awards. 2 of them are very short term. 1 is very long term, but a large amount that have been in process for a very long time. We followed up and they just don't seem to be moving. What do we do?
So can you please send an email to the awards at ucdavis.edu inbox with the 3 projects that you're referencing, and we can have a sidebar conversation? Is it related to sponsor programs finalizing or the account being set up?
We can't even get the account set up. We're not even there yet. Sponsored programs needs to finalize.
Okay, so can you please send us an email through the awards inbox and we can reach out to you directly and have a conversation?
Okay. And then the other request is, as long as you're putting together a presentation with the CISO folks, we are really struggling. Sorry, we are really struggling with getting letters of from the CISOs about our security protections for data from other agencies. We've submitted them through the IT ServiceNow process. We've spoken directly with the folks in IT who are supposed to be signing these, but some of them have been in the request queue for over 2 months.
I don't know if there's anyone here from CISO to address that, but
There probably isn't, but when you meet with them, it's a real issue for those of us who do a lot of secondary data research, and we need data from other agencies. And it takes a long time anyway to get the data, especially from the state. And to the extent they continue to delay the same letter that they probably have done multiple times, it's a real problem.
yeah, sounds like it.
I just want to jump in there, Pamela. At CPE, we worked with IET on a standard kind of questionnaire checklist to go through because we have the same issue with our CDSS contracts. So we took the time with our IT director and IET to work on something to speed up the process.
Yeah, we've done that too, and it's just
okay. It's not working.
Thanks, though.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Pamela. Anyone else? Well, we hit 2:05. So thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you at next month's forum. Take it easy, everybody.